Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is James Marcus. I am a tutor and instructor from Afik Cyberguard, and today we are going to be diving deep into a very intriguing topic, one that would actually make you or maybe improve your expertise as far as cloud computing is concerned, and we are going to be talking about cloud formation. For people who have interacted with AWS services, then cloud formation, at least you might be having an idea of what cloud formation is, or maybe you've just heard it. So, for today, we are going to be discussing what this cloud formation is all about. Some of the um, some of the core lessons that we will be actually touching on. We are going to be describing the purpose of AWS Cloud Formation. We will be trying to see how to create AWS Cloud Formation template, and then we are also going to be discussing some of the best practices as far as cloud formation is concerned. And of course, during this particular session, we are going to go through some terminology. So, what is this cloud formation? Something like a template, and also AWS cloud formation stack. So, these are some of the terminology that we're going to actually going to meeting. So, cloud computing is very interesting, and of course, each and every organization that thinks that they want to go outside there and just expand and be at par with technology, um, everyone is moving to the cloud, and therefore, while we're moving to the cloud, sometimes it is assumed that we are not going to face any challenges, but the reality is far from that, because challenges will always be part and parcel of our day-to-day activities if we are in the cloud. So, um, what are some of the possible challenges that we might actually face when we are in the cloud and when you're using cloud services? And especially here, let us base it, we're thinking towards AWS services. So, the number one thing, some of the challenges that you might actually face is on deployment of the cloud services that you want to use. So, deployment. You know that you want to use a particular service, and of course sometimes you might be using combinations of close to 20 services all at once. So you see the configuration of these particular services can really be tiresome. Yeah, so deploying or maybe roll out across multiple geographical locations. So let's say that you have a particular application, and this application, you have various regions, and therefore you need to take these services closer to your users. Rolling out these services in multiple geolocation can really be a challenge. And then debugging the deployment. Just imagine you have 50, maybe you have around 20 VPCs. Those are 20 data centers. And you want to deploy, or you want to debug all these services that are within. So the VPCs have their several EC2 instances and all that kind of a thing. They have several the load balancers, like all those services. Within a VPC you might be having even 20. Yeah, within a data center, all the networking components, all the databases component, and all that. So just imagine debugging all these components all together, and then documenting all these challenges can also prove to be a hill task. And also updating live servers is also a challenge that we might actually face. Having the ability to manage a rollback, yeah, maybe you made a change and you want to get back to the older version. How do you do it holistically throughout your all through your services that you already have? Managing dependencies, okay, on systems and subsystems. Dependencies keep changing. One can be depreciated and all that kind of a thing, and now you want to manage all these dependencies and deploying repeatable and identical environments. That is also a challenge that we might actually face. Now, this makes us to ask a question: how do we manage all these? Yeah. Okay, so how do we update servers that have already been deployed into a production environment? How are we going to do it? How do we consistently deploy an infrastructure to multiple regions in disparate geographical locations? How do you roll back a deployment that did not run according to plan? Yeah. How do you test and debug deployments before you roll it out to production? How do you manage dependencies on systems and technologies and also on entire subsystems? For example, a website that is deployed on top of an e-commerce infrastructure. So this is where cloud formation comes in. Okay, this is where cloud formation comes in. It is going to help us solve all these challenges. What does cloud formation do? Okay, cloud formation models and provisions cloud infrastructure resources. Modeling, provisioning cloud infrastructure resources. And you should note that CloudFormation supports most of AWS services. Most means that some are not actually included, and we are going to be seeing that. Okay, it creates, it updates, and deletes a set of resources as a single unit, and this unit is called a stack. It creates, updates, and deletes a set of resources as a single unit called a stack. It detects changes, which are called drifts, on stack and individual resources. So when a change occurs, it is called a drift. Okay, but when there's an update, a deletion, creation of that, and you just call all that, you call on CloudFormation to perform that single unit, it is called a stack. Okay, so here's just a breakdown of what CloudFormation is actually made of. We can do change sets, and we can have a stack, and we can have actually templates that are going to be doing all these tasks. Okay, so that is what CloudFormation actually does. Now, just an elaboration of that. CloudFormation enables you to create and provision AWS infrastructure deployment predictably and repeatedly. You can use CloudFormation on services such as the listed EC2 instances, Amazon Elastic Block Store (EBS), Simple Notification Service (SNS), Elastic Load Balancing (ELB), and auto scaling. CloudFormation also enables you to use a template file to create and delete a collection of resources, which are managed together as a single unit, otherwise known as a stack. Right, so that we are good up to all that particular time where we reached, and you guys, if you have questions, you can ask.